it's time for Dish with D. That's me. Today we're going to talk about WW. I've seen a lot of things online about, oh, I just joined, I'm confused, I don't know what I'm doing. So this is here, I'm going to give you a quick WW overview. You walk into Weight Watchers, or you could do it online. This probably will work for both. Well, at least in the meetings, you get your little success story book. This is where you track your weight and everything. You have your little stickers, your plus and minuses. And when you go in, for the first time, I'll just show you my last one. You'll see on there my weight, what I lost, then what it currently is. So it's what your weight was, plus or minus, and then what you put when the total loss. That's exactly. And here it tells me D for daily points and W for weekly. So I have 23 dailies and 35 weeklies. That changes based on your weight and height and age. So I walked in there, when I walked in at 247, I got 25 weeklies and 25 dailies and I think 48 weeklies, I think. I can't remember off the top of my head. But so that's the number that you go by, the W and the D and the W, dailies and weeklies. Daily points are the D, is the points you're allotted per day. I have 23. Everybody's might be different. That means out of the pointed foods in the program, which you go on, that is the amount you could have. That is not counting the 0 point foods, because there are now 0 point foods, foods without points, which is pretty much all fish, boneless, skinless chicken breast, I believe beans. There's a list off the top of my head. Non-fat Greek yogurt, eggs. They're all if you go on your app, there's a 0 point list at the thing. I can't show you because I'm on my phone. But there is also a list of 0 point foods. Now they don't count in your 23 a day. They're what they call 0. They're not free, they're 0, which to me means the same thing, but they think it means something different. Because if they called it free, you would have a free for all. I think calling it 0, people have a free for all, but that's just my opinion. But so you get 23 points a day. I have 23 points a day to use towards food. That's anything other than the 0 point foods. Breads, beef, rice, pastas, potatoes, cheese, things that those go in my. Now, you don't have to eat all 23 points. They want you to eat at least 13. Anything other, that's how they call it in the healthy guidelines. You have to eat at least 13 points out of your dailies a day. I eat all my dailies because I'm hungry, but that's just me. And you can bank up to 4 points per day, only up to 4, to put it in your weekly bank. Say you only had 16 points that day. Though you had 0 point foods, you had enough to eat. Well, 4 of those, what you had left over, which would be 7, you would put 4 of those would bank in your weekly. And on your app, that would go automatically into your weekly. So your weekly would go from 35 to 39. Now, you could go all week and not touch your weekly points. But say you're out and you've went through your daily points and you still wanted to have another drink, another 3-point glass of wine. Well, when you put it in, it takes it out of your weekly allotment because you went through all 23 of your points. So you have money. They kind of have extra money in the bank. So your debit card's dry, but you have your bank account there. So that is how the weeklies work. Some people don't ever touch their weeklies. Some people touch most of their weeklies. That's entirely up to you and how you do the plan and how you eat, how you like to eat. I mean, there's some people that eat all 0 point foods. Because you have chicken, you have beans, you have fruit, you have vegetables. I mean, you could pretty much eat constantly from the 0 point list. I wouldn't, but people do. I mean, like, I like my breads, I like my wraps, I like my chips. So I like my pasta, I like my rice, I like my potatoes. I like to have a side. I like vegetables. So you have to, it's just basically playing, you have this many points. What much bang can I get for it? And that's, up to you. I mean, you could sit there. I mean, you can fit in what you want if you plan. Planning is always the key to WW. They'll tell you that. Some people plan their day before their day starts. They put their points in. This is what they're going to have, and they put it in there so they know that they followed. Now, if you have to plan with the app makes it a lot easier. If you didn't get the app, then there's little paper trackers that they have at meetings. Or if you guys, well, if you're obviously doing it alone, you have the app. But the app is fabulous. You can look up foods. You can scan foods with the bars. I always say, scan it or look it up before you eat it, because you might think it's low and it's not. Depending on the brand of certain things, it's because it's a turkey burger doesn't make it low in points. You have to watch. So, and all buns, all bread is not created equal. Some buns are 2 points, some buns are 4 points. Just depends on the brand and what's in it. So it's always best to scan it before you eat it, so you know. There's no sense screwing up your points for the day. Then again, you have the glory of the 0 point food. So if you've messed up at breakfast and say you drove through Chick-fil-A and you got like a chicken biscuit, a sweet tea, and a side of potatoes, that all comes to, somebody did, that's how I know, that all comes to 25 points. Well, I only get 23 points, so I've used up all my points on breakfast. But the glory of this new plan is I have 0 point foods to pull from. I could have a great salad with chicken for lunch. I could have for dinner, I could have grilled vegetables and chicken, cauliflower rice, and for all 0 points, and I could still eat the rest of the day. So don't feel all is lost if you screwed your points up at breakfast, because all is not lost. But also remember that 0 points doesn't mean 0 calories. These foods, although they're 0, have calories. So can you eat a dozen eggs for breakfast? No. They won't tell you that. I don't think they stress that enough, but because I always say people with a weight problem see 0 and say, well, it didn't say I couldn't. But realistically, should you have a dozen eggs for breakfast? No. You can have 2 or 3 eggs for breakfast, absolutely. It makes a great omelet. So it's planning. And remember, like I said, like the whole can of beans. Is it healthy to eat a whole can of beans? Heck no. You'll be paying for that later. But you can have beans mixed within things, and they're very filling. Like I throw my chickpeas in salad all the time. I put chickpeas in with tuna salad all the time because it's really bulks up. It's good. Do I eat a whole can of beans? Heck no. No. Do not eat a whole can of beans. I mean, and if the fat-free refried beans are 0, there's a lot of 0 point foods you can play with. Bank your points. If you know you're going to a wedding on the weekend, bank 4 points a day. Make sure that you're eating 4 points less. Eat more 0 point foods. Bank 4 points a day. 4 times 5 is 20. That's 20 points you could bank just on 5 days. Plus, if I didn't eat my 35, that's 55 points I could eat at the wedding. I could have a cocktail. I could have wedding cake. Most wedding food venues, you could get fish. You can get chicken. I mean, you have to watch what the fish and chicken is cooked in. So that brings to my next thing. How do I look up something from at a restaurant and the restaurant isn't in the app? Break down what's in the meal. You have chicken. You have a sauce. You have breading. Break it down. Give it points. Is it going to be perfect? Probably not, but you're giving it something. Of course, be realistic. I mean, you have breadcrumbs have points. Cream sauces have points. Having it fried has points. So break it down. I always say deconstruct it as best you can. You're going to be perfect? No. Nobody's perfect, but you're doing the best you can, and that's all the plan can ask from you. So all you can ask from yourself is doing the best you can. You know, I gave it 12 points. Should I have given it more? I don't know, but I gave it 12. You have to give it something. So the recipe builder is on the app. If you've never used the recipe builder, I highly recommend you do it. You could put recipes in, portions in. You can find out if you're making something, you could find out exactly the points because you put it in by ingredient. I put in 3/4 cup of breadcrumb. I put in 2 teaspoons of mustard. I put in 4 tablespoons of mayonnaise. I put in, what else would be points? So you put all that in there. You put in eggs, you put in flour, so that puts it all in there, and then you put how many servings you get out of it, and it tells you how many points each one will be. So it's doing the thinking for you. You just have to do the work. Does this work? Yes, it's work. I'm not going to sit there and tell you it's easy because it's not, but it's work. And the more you do it, the more you familiar you'll become, the easier it will be, the quicker you'll be, because you'll just bang it right out, because if you keep doing it and doing it, you'll get better. I mean, I always say, we say a lot of times you can scan something and it come up one thing, and then put in the calculator, it comes up something's really different. We always recommend, if you can check it, check it. If it sounds too good to be true, it normally is. That's what it's the truth. And some people, you know, there are wrong things there. I mean, it's 95% pretty good, but there's that 5%. If you're a stickler for things and you're not losing, then I would start going on that. So you have your points, you have your 0-point foods, you have your recipe builder, you have your scanner. You also have, there's Connect on the app at the bottom with the little people. If you need a community, if you're an online subscriber, hit up Connect. Find people that, there's different groups in Connect that you would be interested in. Hook up with people that you have something in common with. Chat with them online. There's a coach online if you're online only. You can talk, ask questions. I'm a meeting subscriber, and I asked the coach a question about making my own hummus. I said, since beans are 0, if I make my own hummus and don't add the tahini or the olive oil, do I have to count it? I've added non-fat Greek yogurt. I saw a recipe for it with lemon juice, non-fat Greek yogurt, and garlic, and cans of chickpeas. And she said, "Is it a dip?" I said, "Yes." "Is it you have to scoop it?" I said, "Yes." And she goes, "Well, as long as you don't drink it, you don't have to count it." So it was a 0-point dip. So if I made it with like radishes and cucumbers, so that was all 0. So I wouldn't have known that. I would have counted it. But I asked the coach on the app. So you just play around with your app. Don't be afraid to touch this and touch that. You normally can change it if you made a mistake. So there's just, you know, there's a community on Facebook. There's communities on YouTube that have groups, and there's people that like myself who have their channel and could, you know, ask them questions if you're not sure. They'll give advice. I always say no question's a dumb question. You know, always ask questions. It's my famous thing, because, you know, somebody else might be asking that same question and you'd be the one coming up with the answer. You know, like there's like for me, Kodiak cakes. The recipe calls for half cup. Well, half cup's 5 points. A third of cup is only 3 points, and it's plenty. So I do the Kodiak cakes third cup when I make my Kodiak pancakes, because it's plenty. Could I eat a half cup? Probably, but do I need to? No, because the third cup, I'm very, very, very satiated, so I don't feel the need for a half cup. But that's just little things that you find along the way. You add eggs to things, you add non-fat Greek yogurt to things, it bulks it up, it doesn't add points, but it definitely adds volume and it adds fullness. So when you're having it, you're like, wow, this is really, I make my chicken salad with non-fat Greek yogurt and mustard. It's not for everybody. Some people need to have their mayonnaise, and that's them, but to me, I enjoy it. And I don't have to count it, because remember, chicken breast is 0, non-fat Greek yogurt is 0, mustard is 0. So I made a 0-point chicken salad so I could have bread or I could have crackers and not feel as bad because I didn't have to point anything else. There's just different techniques, like add veggies into things. I'm a big proponent of putting vegetables in omelets, putting vegetables in chicken salad or tuna salad. It just, again, you get this little tuna or chicken, and it just grows. And I love adding zucchini noodles to spaghetti. Do I like zucchini noodles? Sure I do, but I don't want them. I want spaghetti. So what I do is I do my cup of pasta for 6 points and my whole zucchini that I spiralized. So my little cup of pasta becomes a cup of pasta. It does, and when you mix it together, and zucchini and tomato sauce go really, really well together anyway. I don't cook them. I put it in raw, and the heat of the pasta just softens it a little bit because they're thin noodles anyway. That's what I do. I like adding cauliflower rice to my regular rice. Why? Because my rice becomes my rice. I'm a bulk eater. Was always a big girl, so I like to see big plates of food. I don't have to count the cauliflower rice, I don't have to count the zucchini noodles, but it just looks really big. So it's kind of tweaking with food. Play with your food. Play with your app. Play with recipes. I mean, you know, think of something. I do that all the time. Like, oh, I like this, or I like this. If I swap this out or this out. The recipe builder, again, I've said that already, but it helps you. It's your tool to make you better. And if you keep using it, you will get better. You will get faster. You will just bang that right out when you look up food, and you can put favorites in, so that you have something like a lot during the week. You'll hit in your favorites. You can pop that right in. Like me, I have overnight oats a lot, so I pop that right in. And play even with recipes. Like, I don't put Greek yogurt in I don't put equal amounts of Greek yogurt. I like almond milk and a little bit of Greek yogurt in my overnight oats. So like I said, tweak recipes. But, you know, you get your daily points and check, because when you start losing, your points go down. Your weeklies may go down and your dailies may go down. That's a very sad part when they go down. But, you know, your coach is there to help you. Your guide is there to help you. Ask questions if you don't understand. They do used to give you booklets, and I'm not sure they do that too much anymore. They had all the information in it. There was a book that used to have a 0-point food list. I know the coaches have them. You could ask for them. It is on the app. Look under the, it's at the bottom where the recipe builder is. There's a 0-point food list there. There's a lot of 0-point foods. I know like the chickpeas, if you put them and you bake them and make them like a snack, you have to count them. I'm not sure why that is, because you haven't put any fat on them. So if you're just something, you're spraying them with Pam and tossing them in seasoning and baking them, why are they points? See, that confuses me. So I'm sure you're confused, because if I'm confused, I've been doing this for what, 2-3 years? Because I think you're going to overeat them. Well, you told me they're 0 points, and you're basically saying they're, you know, so why now that I bake them? So I can eat the whole can? Well, I shouldn't be eating the whole can anyway. It should stay that somewhere else. It doesn't. That's a whole other video. But yes, if you bake your chickpeas to make a snack, you have to count them. That's unfair. You heard it here. It's unfair. But snacks are great, like hard-boiled eggs. You snack on the 0-point foods. Veggies, cucumbers. I like doing cucumbers. Some people like carrots. Not a big fan of carrots. I don't dislike carrots, but I just think they're boring. And because we've all overdone carrots. That's probably why. So I'm into the zucchini. I'm into the sugar snap peas, radishes. So that's what I kind of go towards. Eggs are great for hard-boiled eggs, great for a snack. Chicken's great for a snack. I'm thinking 0-point food snacks. Make your own hummus. I told you. You don't add the tahini and you don't add the olive oil. You put I posted it on the Facebook group that I belong to. If you haven't already joined, I highly suggest that you do. That's Jones Point and Plate and I. We run that. It's become bigger than we ever thought it would. Over 25,000 people are in this group. It's crazy. But I posted a recipe there, and I've always made my hummus. I saw it somewhere else. You mix, I don't know if it's a cup or half a cup, I don't remember, but it's non-fat Greek yogurt, the chickpeas, garlic, and I roast mine because I don't like the raw garlic. It's too strong, so I roast it in the oven. It becomes like butter. I can eat it on bread. And lemon juice, salt and pepper, and good to go. I love it. And what I did one time is I roasted eggplant and bell peppers, and I put it in there too. Insane. My next attempt is going to be beet hummus. Yes, I had it at Aldi had it. Joan picked it up for me because she knows I'm a little bit of a beet nut. And it was awesome. So I thought, if I can do that, roast my beets and throw, so that's coming. Don't know when. A lot of things coming on the docket, you know, look at this. So that is Weight Watchers Explained. You go in every week, you get weighed. Your points either go up or, most times they say the same because they don't go up or down once you're at a certain level. That's the, you know, the foods. That's the, like I said, to get the blue dot, you have to be at least 13 points a day of, they have that healthy guidelines. Whole grains, oils, fruits and vegetables, and grains. But I already said that. I can't remember what I said. But they want you to get them, and that's what your points are for. That's what I use my points for. I use my points for breads and oil. I'm an olive oil fiend. I love olive oil. I put it on everything. And I like to finish it with oil. So that's what my weeklies go towards. Olive oil. And nuts. Almonds. But that's my quick little tutorial on how WW works, pretty much. I'm sure it'll be changing because it changes every so often. It evolves, you know. I'm thinking that they're going to be saying, you know what, these 0-point foods, you can only have so many a day. That's what I'm thinking. I think a lot of people aren't having success with freestyle, and I think that is it. They're binging on these 0-point foods, and I can't blame them because they're telling you they're 0. So you're giving somebody with a weight problem, a problem with food, 0-point things. Yeah, it's not a good thing. It's not. I very rarely have that much. I don't have that many 0. I'm afraid because I know they're calories and you'll gain. So I keep mine to a minimum. I have chicken. I don't have really more than sometimes 3 eggs a day. And if I have 3 eggs for breakfast and an omelet, I won't have any the rest of the day because I think that's just too much. And I buy medium eggs versus like a large or jumbo because there's a big calorie difference. You're talking about like I'm saving like 20 calories almost an egg or maybe 10. That's a lot. That would add up to like if you have, that's a significant amount. And they're big enough. They really are. I think I've gone on way too long. If I've missed something, I apologize. I can't think of what I missed. But, you know, any questions, leave them down below and I will answer them as soon as I can. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell. And if you haven't already checked my collab from yesterday, I went over my journey. If you haven't seen it, please do. My journey on WW. Gives you all my stats. So have a great day, folks, and we will dish another day.